You know, if there's one thing I can say about the intro to Mega Man Legends is that it's doing a good job pumping me up for more action. Starting the game with a ship crashing. Awesome.
Safe to set foot in here for quite a while.
I don't think it looks that bad. It just looks like the paint job got scratched up. And, that's just the texture on the model, of course.
Looks like the repairs aren't going to be finished anytime soon. We'll be here for a while, I guess.
For all of 12 hours, if my previous playthrough's playtime is any indication.
Catalogs?
Yes, I know, the island name is stupid.
Think you could go take a look around?
Alright, so now we can move around a couple of areas on the island here. But the first thing we are going to do is have a little chat with Mega Man's pet monkey. Why did they give him a pet monkey? I don't know, but his dance is just mesmerizing and I love it. So the purpose of the monkey, whose name is Data by the way, is to recharge your energy. So you talk to him if you're low on health or special weapon energy and you get it all back. It's nice. And he also saves the game and has some very basic advice for you. Now I apologize, I was using a new memory card so I had to format it here. That's fine. Let's hope the game wasn't formatting it out of spite. I don't think there was anything on that memory card. Well, if I somehow find out my Final Fantasy IX save files are all gone, I'll be very upset, but no matter. So you examine that sign and he says, I knew there would be a town here. Like, it says to town. What else were you supposed to conclude? Oh dear, it seems we've crash-landed in a no parking zone. Looks like we're about to get a ticket. Nah, I'm just kidding. Wouldn't that be a plot twist, though? Okay, interact with him. Come on, find the hitbox. Good.
The police saw us crash land and came to check up on us.
Well, you certainly put on quite a show. But it looks like everyone's all right.
Come to think of it, where did they see the flutter crash from exactly? The city is all walled off when we actually go and see it.
I'd like to ask one of you to come with me to the station.
I like how Roll's just standing there, like, twitching every so often. Like, and everyone else only twitches when they speak. I also like how people seem to be talking faster than the text scrolling.
While you're waiting, you can spend your time in the shopping arcade next to the city. You don't need an ID card to get in there.
But what if somebody shoplifts? You walled off the city to keep, I don't know, criminals out, but you let them in the shopping arcade? Oh well. Gee, Roll, you've been twitching so long. Are you feeling alright? Yeah, I don't think we're gonna find any parts that easily. Like, are you sure there's going to be a store in this town that sells the very specific fin that we need? The one that broke off a little while ago? Anyway, you have to... You can't step on the dark green grass. I don't know why, but... you'll notice me walking diagonally here. For some reason, diagonal movement is faster than regular movement. It's very odd, but you'll see this a lot in speedruns, and it's almost kind of jarring if you watch it after having played casually for so long. So there's this weird-looking purple ship here. See, I told you this was a no parking zone. But is it even parked? Oh yeah, I would offer to shoot it down, but for some reason I can't use the buster here, so it defaults to the kick. So anyhow, here's what the town looks like. Very lively. One thing that's very impressive about this game is that every NPC, almost every NPC, has a unique model. Recycled models are very rare. So why is it called the Apple Market? Why, that's because Macintosh owns all of it. Nah, I'm kidding. Wait a minute, the textures on those banners are reversed. You have to look at them from the other side to get it to display normally. And here's my favorite Mega Man Legends pastime. Kicking a tiny little can on the ground. So awesome. And if you kick it into a very specific spot, That's not the specific spot you're supposed to kick it into. If you do that, you have to leave and come back in order for the can to come back to where it was originally. So here's a toy store named Akbar for reasons, and they have a game called Mega Man Legends on sale. I am playing Mega Man Legends, and a location in the game has the game Mega Man Legends for sale. Interestingly, in the N64 port, oh, by the way, we're just doing a bit of dumpster diving here. Mega Man does that a lot in this game. In the N64 port, that little Easter egg, the game in the store is actually Mega Man 64, but if you beat the game and come back, it changes back to Mega Man Legends. It's like they're begging you to buy the PlayStation version, I guess. I don't know. So this music store, there's nothing gameplay related in here, but you can listen to a couple of songs that don't appear anywhere else in the game. So I just decided to listen to a couple, because a lot of people don't know about this place. They hear these songs on the soundtrack and they go, where did I hear, where does this music play? I never heard this. Another point of interest is that one of the songs here was the song used for the Japanese commercial. It was a J-pop song called Another Sun, but, you know, in the US version they had to remove that. They do that a lot with games that come from Japan. I guess it's a music licensing thing. But, as far as Mega Man goes, the Mega Man X series, they use J-pop a lot for their game intros and outros. For some reason, Mega Man X6 kept the original intro, the J-pop song, or J-rock rather, or J-rap, I don't know. Well, they kept the original song for the PlayStation and the PlayStation 2 collection re-release, but in the Mega Man X Legacy collection that just came out on the PlayStation 4, and other consoles, they had to get rid of that song. Like, you kept it for the X collection on the PS2, but you have to get rid of it now? What's going on here? I can't remember if they kept all of the songs even in the Japanese releases, but that's enough trivia for now. Let's get back to kicking the can, because now I have to kick the can into its correct location. You have to kick it into the bakery. Kicking a can into the bakery is apparently worth a small bonus. And you can repeat that as much as you want to get as much money as you want, over and over again with no penalty. People think there's some kind of penalty. There isn't. So this is a junk store, and it's apparently where you can get a bunch of parts and stuff, but they're not quite open yet. Yes, I know what a dig is. It's a fairly common term, even in the real world. Well, seeing as the plot won't advance until we actually do this... Oh, by the way, she just said, "Oh, thank you so much. Take a shot." Because you could keep a running tally of how many times they say, "Oh, thank you so much." It's just a weird thing I noticed. Not really that big a deal. Okay, so we've got to go underground and see if that guy is okay. So where's the underground entrance? It's this little hut right here. There are a couple of these on the island, and if you go inside, on some of them there's an elevator, but for this one there's just a staircase going underground into the ruins. Now, it's a good thing the Reaver bots don't know how to use ladders. There's a couple of them up there, by the way, and this one pops out from behind that wall. So when you're underground, keep an eye out for holes in the wall, because there's always something stashed away in them. In this case, a chunk of money. Pretty good one. Oh, that Reaver bot was sneaking up behind me, but little does he know, when you are interacting with objects, you are actually invincible, so his effort was for naught. Here's another Reaver bot that pops out from behind that wall, and a couple more of those snake robot enemies that we saw in the earlier dungeon. So clearly that man must have been besieged by some very powerful enemies. Oh, wait, he's up there, where these Reaver bots can't even hit him. Why are you so scared? They can't get to you up there. And are you dancing or something? Yes, we saved your life from the weakest enemies in the game. Don't you have any weapons or something? No buster, no missile, no... Well, as long as you can get out alive, I guess it's okay. Oh, he certainly is a fast runner. I think he just popped out of existence. Anyways, we'll stick around for a little while longer and explore more of this dungeon. So this is a new enemy type. It walks towards you and explodes. And I think the quicker you kill it, the more zenny you get from it. But I'm not really sure. I know that if they explode on their own, then you get nothing from them. As you can see, the second one that I actually managed to destroy, it gave me less money. There are a couple of enemies in this tight corner here, and they're getting smart. They got their revenge on me because I tried to kick their bombs back at them, but there were 2 bombs this time. And here we have another new enemy type. This enemy is difficult for a beginner to deal with, I think, but if you circle strafe it, it's not too hard. It mainly walks towards you and shoots these fireballs. Obviously, you can't kick those back at him, but you shoot him enough and you get a fairly decent bit of money for how early in the game this is. Now, those Reaver bots are actually being controlled by this other little small Reaver bot here. But you don't want to destroy this first, actually. Even though destroying it first causes the enemy to uselessly walk into the wall and bonk its head over and over, doing this actually makes this enemy drop a lot less money. Those giant blue crystals were worth 500 zenny apiece, and I think the purple ones are 300, but the little green ones are just 100s. So, like, I lost like 4/5 of the money I could have gotten. So we got another Buster part, and it gives you the Buster part tutorial again. I don't know why. But this Buster part makes it so I fire my Buster faster. It's a little bit faster than it was before. Probably not worth it. There are a couple of tricks to get the Buster to fire faster, which I'll probably have to show off at some point. Like maybe the next boss or something. Anyways, there's nothing more to see down here for the moment. I'll spoil this right now. All of the ruins on the island, all the underground caverns, they're all connected to each other, but as you progress through the game, you unlock more and more of the caverns, so it's kind of a bit of a Metroidvania element, but I don't count this game as an actual Metroidvania. For one thing, it's not 2D. Then again, Metroid Prime wasn't 2D either. So anyways, I'll just use data to, recharge my energy. That's the monkey's name. Reminds me of Star Trek every time I think about it. And we see Roll is looking at this messed up car. You're going to learn pretty quickly that Roll can turn any busted up piece of equipment into a masterpiece machine. She's amazing. Like, I get the feeling she could turn like a busted missile into a WMD if you gave her enough parts, time, and money. In fact, doesn't she actually do that in Legends 2? I guess it doesn't count. Oh no, he probably would have been injured by like one tiny little Reaver bot. Mines, huh? That's a pretty nice reward. Yay, free junk! I have no idea what he means by exchange Buster parts and stuff. You just buy Buster parts and equip them, so I don't really get it. Now you can actually say that your name is Hippopotamus and it will stick for the rest of the game, but we prefer to be called Mega Man, I think. Now I want there to be a spin-off to this called Hippopotamus Legends. So these guys, they keep a stuffed Reaver bot in their shop. Okay. Is it a toy for your baby? Yeah, there's a baby there if you use the camera to look around there. I guess it's kind of an Easter egg, but oh well. So then, where was I? We should probably get back to the car. Oh, speaking of Easter eggs, if you examine this shelf, there's apparently a lot of novels on this side, but on the other side, there's some dirty magazines. Why would you get in trouble for looking at dusty old magazines? Just brush the dust off, dude. Yeah, I know what those are supposed to be. Thank you very much. Ah, that was fun. There's actually a lot of just, like, out-of-the-way dialogue that you can get if you go certain places that you normally wouldn't be expected to at certain parts of the game.
Were you able to find anything? Oh. If you can't find any parts in town...
So does Mega Man say anything there, or does he nod his head? I don't know.
That's what the man at the junk store said.
Oh, okay, now he's speaking.
That might take a while.
Sometimes writing is a little weird.
Huh? Mega Man, what's that? It looks like a weapons upgrade module.
Roll, don't look in my hammer
The junk
space.
store man gave it to me. He said we could use this car to hook it up.
What do you need a car to hook up a mine weapon
Well, come on
for?
then. Let's get it attached right away.
You know, considering that Mega Man and even some of the other characters in this game actually take their arms off and put in mechanical
This weapon
gun
shoots
arms,
landmines.
maybe that's what the
Drop
car
it
is
in front
for.
of an oncoming enemy and boom! Just remember, there's a limited number of mines, so make sure you use them sparingly. Do you want me to explain what this weapon does again? I'll
Ah,
get to
it
work on
defaults to
fixing
yes.
the car
I'm
up.
getting Ocarina of Time
I'll need to help
flashbacks.
you out and maybe spot for you if I can get it running again.
So yeah, we just got our first special weapon. Almost none of the special weapons in this game are copied from enemies. Like, there's one or two that are, but generally you don't take enemy weapons, which makes this a very, very different Mega Man game.
Now you'll be able to use the city gates. Of course, there are some gates that can't be opened, but...
And don't even think about sequence breaking to get past them.
We've received information that indicates there are some headed this way. So as a precaution...
What kind of information? How do you know?
And locking the gate.
Does it have something to do with that
Hi, Rick.
ship that you found that was in the no
Our
parking
grandfather
zone?
is still inside the city.
Yeah, maybe it
Will
does.
he be all right?
Well, I'm sure he's heard the announcements about the pirates. If I see him, I'll make sure he gets to a safe place. If you'll excuse me.
I'm worried about Gramps. I hope he'll be okay.
I'll go look for him. You wait here.
Okay,
Of course, I have
Mega
to do
Man.
everything myself.
Be careful.
So, before the end of the video, I will demonstrate what this weapon does. It's a basic mine. Enemies walk into it, they get exploded. They trigger if an enemy walks over them. Like, they also trigger if Mega Man walks over them, but they also explode after a little bit of time. You can't shoot them with your buster. By the way, we can arbitrarily use our buster now. I don't know why. But everything's invincible, unless it's an enemy. They shouldn't give you any trouble, but be careful anyway. Sure. Maybe if I was on hard difficulty, they would give me some trouble. So I'll just save here and end the video for now. Takes kind of a little while to save. Anyhow, I've only been playing for half an hour. What do you know? This game always seems to go by so quickly.